Which movie is genuinely traumatic? Part 3.
The good son messed me up when I was a kid.
On Valentine's evening we had my mom and her friend and my brother over, and the friend was talking about someone she knew that adopted a kid who scared their family, and my brother was like, throwing dummies off an overpass scary? Lol.
The movie never messed with me, but the dummy scene and the cliff scene are the only two parts of the movie I remember.
It holds up really well if you haven't seen it in a while. Great performances from Wood and Culkin.
The zip gun? The dog? The ice skating?
I still don't like skating on bodies of water.
Poor Mr. Highway.
Haven't seen this one, but this brought back a vivid recollection of an episode of Cold Case I saw as a teen. They found a child's skull and digitally reconstructed a face from it. Woman brings in a nearly identical photo of herself at that age. Turns out she was a twin whose mother basically gaslit her about her imaginary friend's sister after the psycho father held them both off a bridge when they were like 3 or 4. Mom only managed to grab one of them. Left me absolutely rocked, and to this day I can tell you my maternal instincts are 100% intact. I also immediately hugged my mom who was watching it with me.
Oh my god. That sounds horrific.
Thankfully, that is the fictional series, not the true crime series of Cold Case Files.
Was it a recreation of a true story?
No. It was a show on CBS that had over 150 episodes. Now I'm not saying it never pulled plot lines from current events like Law and Order did, but none of the episodes were recreations of true stories.
Interesting. I'm surprised it could be so traumatic. They were not the best actors on that show, and even big-budget movies rarely draw that type of reaction.
Yeah, the acting was not great, but some of the storylines could hit close to home. Just the idea of that even fictional can be hard, especially if you have kids. Related, it's like why I had to stop watching This Is Us too emotionally damaging.
I totally agree with the hitting close to home. I was a single dad full custody of my now 22-year-old daughter. I can't watch true crime reenactments or certain movies involving young girls where, as if it's young boys I can watch. It all bothers me, of course, but there's levels to our feelings when we can relate.
It was an amazing episode, but I was bawling. The mom was trying to escape with the kids when he caught her too, if I recall correctly.
So many of these shows had me crying my eyes out. Especially the first couple seasons. They were so good, but usually so sad. I couldn't listen to You Are My Sunshine until about 4 years ago without becoming a mess. Just because it reminded me of one of the episodes.
That is such an underrated show. The one that got me was the homeless woman who froze in the snow with her Rottweiler who wouldn't leave her side.
Excuse me, what? What? Forget the dad. Men kill people all the time. It's unacceptable yet unremarkable. But what kind of absolute fucking psychopath decides, after one child's been murdered by their abuser, to then psychologically abuse the other into believing their sibling never existed at all? Like, I don't even want to hear some grief drive strange behaviors shit. Her whole solution was to just say her other daughter never existed? That every memory and every bond these two sisters shared was merely a figment of a child's vivid imagination? I've read a lot of fucked up things on the internet, and I've seen a lot of fucked up things in my time, but this might actually take the cake. I'm thoroughly appalled.
I mean, how do you explain to a 4-year-old that her father dropped her sister off a bridge? Grief, trauma, a misguided attempt at normality for the remaining kid. Don't get me wrong, I agree that it's fucked up, but the whole situation was fucked to begin with.
I mean, first of all, it's fiction. But I could also probably see how a traumatized, grief-stricken mother, who's been a victim of domestic abuse for years, could be so mentally jacked up that she could possibly see that as the best solution that her mind, messed up after years of abuse, and then this trauma, could come up with to try and protect her surviving child. A child that was 3 to 4 at the time, at that, and probably doesn't have clear memories of their sibling or the abuse. So I could see a messed up mother thinking it's protecting the kid from remembering things and trying to save them the trauma. But again, it's fake, so it's an entirely moot point.
It's fictional though, which is a relief.
I just realized I was getting the show mixed up with the non-fictional cold case files. I'm pretty relieved, and also a little embarrassed lol.
Don't be, the names are hella similar.
But old Mr. Highway.
Mr. Highway.
I tried to give you my free award, but I couldn't figure it out. I used to be good at spelling, before I had kids. Now my brain is fried.
My mom regretted ever showing us that movie. For years we hounded her with endless questions about which of the kids she'd save if we were all hanging off a cliff.
Haha. My sister and I got my mom to stop leaving Lifetime playing in the background while she was in the kitchen with how much we cried about that scene. That one in the scene where Macaulay Culkin's character is holding the scissors to Elijah Wood's throat. The dialogue is what did it.
I'm pretty sure I asked my mom that too once, after seeing that movie Mao.
My mom just eventually started saying I'll be fine, I have the dogs. Just to shut our crap down lol.
My mom's answer was, in earnest, if I can't save you both, I'm throwing myself off the cliff too. Haunts me more than any movie ever could.
Yeah, that would be hard for a kid to think about. I'm sure you didn't ask much after that, haha.
Haha, that's always my go-to.
I'd throw you both off if given the chance.
I have so many movies I want to show my kids, and it's the same. I don't want to regret traumatizing them. I want to do it when they're old enough to enjoy the brilliance of each film and spook them out a bit.
I have literally only seen the last 10 minutes of that movie, and that's enough to haunt me.
Well, we all did that.
I love your fam.
The Good Son traumatized me. I saw it at a friend's house when I was a kid, and I never told my parents. I thought about it often, and I convinced myself that my mom would have saved my sister instead of me if she were in the same situation. I never asked her, and I knew she'd have been horrified to find out I saw the movie.
I'm going to give my mom some credit as a mother, because I believe she would have pulled my sister both up without fail.
She knew for certain what that kid had done. She knew she had to choose.
Dude, same. I saw it at a friend's house when I was like 11 and I couldn't sleep there anymore after that. My mother had to come pick me up. I remember my friend's mother regretting letting us watch the film, lol. We did watch violent movies all the time, no problem. Heat was our favorite film, but that movie fucked us up real good.
Yet a lot of us saw that film a bit too young simply because it was about two kids. However, I would rush to theaters to see another Culkin Wood headliner today. They're both still popular actors who have maintained a level of success, and it'd be cool to see what their screen dynamic is like today.
This is the first movie I thought of. It was on TV when I was 6 or 7 and I watched it alone. I was so disturbed and I just went and hugged my little brother that I always fought with.
Mom, I need your other hand. Macaulay is so calm when he says it. Like, he isn't even panicked that his mom might choose Elijah. So creepy. Meanwhile, Elijah pounding on the window and screaming Susan. Susan still haunts me. Probably doesn't help that I'm around the same age as those guys, so seeing kids like me in turmoil was distressing.
Honestly, Henry going "Mom, I love you" in the most Macaulay Culkin way possible kinda relieved some of the tension for me, lol.
There's one from around the same time called Mikey. In the opening scene, a 9-year-old murders his adoptive parents and 4-year-old sister, and then goes to another family and starts to kill again, and it messed me up bad.
Mikey fucked with my head, When I was a kid. Drowning. Electrocution. Baseball bats. Way too real.
Okay, I'm not the only one who remembers.
For a second I thought you were making a joke and talking about Michael Myers lol. The movie you're talking about does sound disturbing.
Yeah, I saw it when I was 9 or 10 and it stuck with me.
Saw this at the movie theater with my parents when I was about 10. Being close to the same age as Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin made it that much more real to me. The end scene on the cliff haunted me to no end. Macaulay Culkin screams and the look of anguish on his mom's face as she makes her decision and apologizes as she's doing it. Fucked me up. I gave my parents the hard side eye, like, well, I guess I won't be walking near any cliffs with you guys ever in my life. Seeing a parent make that kind of decision was literally impossible for my mind to wrap around. I have it on DVD now and can still barely watch that part. Factor in that I was a fat kid too. So I knew fat kid plus cliffs plus a lack of upper body strength equals oh shit. Lights out.
Why the hell was that movie even made? I haven't watched it, but it sounds horrific.